Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Now, this week I'm doing a week-long series of videos about the songs and music videos that got me into heavy metal and formed my taste in music, in the heavy metal genre. So, you know, I'm looking at old videos going back to the early 90s, like 1991. I think we're not going past 1993, so the first... like 1991 to 1993, we're going to be looking at videos from there. And, you know, this is about the time I was 11 years old. You know, every morning before we went to school, my older brother would put in a video cassette where he had recorded Headbangers Ball off MTV back in the days when they played music and were actually worth watching. You know, so every morning we'd watch this video each week. You know, each week it'd be a new series of videos, and he'd play all these music videos that he'd recorded the Sunday previous, and that's sort of what formed my taste in metal music. And now today we're going to be looking at what I think was possibly my first real step into death metal. Now, I mean, we looked at Megadeth already, which was my gateway band, as I call it. They're the bands that essentially got me into metal in the first place. And then we looked at Paradise Lost, As I Die, which was possibly, you know, that was more a step into sort of gothic metal. But today we're going to look at what I think was my first step into proper death metal. We're going to be looking at Hypocrisy and a track called The Pleasure of Molestation. Now, the first moment I heard this track, I absolutely loved it. I thought this was a fantastic piece of music. I don't know what it was about it. It's just something that really grabbed me. And I've always loved this specific track. So, yeah, you know, and I believe I've actually got every Hypocrisy album that's been released now. And, you know, Pete Takegren, you know, he's got a fantastic voice for death metal. And, you know, this I think it's from 1993. Osculum Obstinum, I believe, was 1993. But, yeah, this was, I think, my first step into death metal. Like I say, these videos are from the early 90s, so, you know, the resolution on the videos is going to be pretty bad. You know, so the quality is going to be a little bit... So, yeah. But we're here for the music, not the videos. So let's just jump into this and go back in time a bit. So, The Pleasure of Molestation by Hypocrisy. Let's have a look. That intro, man. You ready for it?
Just a day, to me.
Yeah, I fucking love that track. I really do. One of my favourite pieces of music. But yeah, you know, like I said, this was my first sort of foray into death metal, and you know, what a way to do it. I mean, with Hypocrisy of all bands, you know, and this, I think this was before they started going in with all the sort of aliens, the abduction sort of thing. And you know, I've got nothing against that. I still really enjoy that music. You know, it's a little bit odd, but you know, everybody's got their thing, and you know, I think I covered Hypocrisy a little while ago because they released a new album. I think it was not last. I think it was the year before last. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure I covered them. But yeah, I've always enjoyed Hypocrisy. I've always loved their music. You know, the first time I heard that, I was just like, yeah, fucking right. This is a great piece of music. You know, the chunky guitar riffs. You know, that thundering, you know, you can hear the bass, you can, you know, feel this piece of music all through it. It's just amazing. You know, absolutely loved it. Now, this is the lyrics to this are sort of almost what everybody expects heavy metal music to be. You know, if you ask someone who doesn't know anything about metal what heavy metal's about, this is basically what they'll say. You know, it's talking about murder, it's talking about molestation, it's talking about Satan, that sort of thing. You know, it's those sort of typical lyrics that the uneducated think all heavy metal is. But we're going to talk about them anyway. So it opens with the line, "You displease my eyes." So immediately it's like, you know, yeah, you're just disgusting to me. You know, I hate you. I don't want anything to do with you. Then it goes, "Some say that God's ear, I'm yours till you find my lust. Holy day, almost here, to molest this evil corpse." You know, straight into it, you know. You know, holy day almost here to molest this evil corpse. You know, and I mean the song's called "The Pleasure of Molestation." You know, pretty much straight into it. And then it says it goes in. It says it's a chorus, but I wouldn't really call it a chorus because there isn't really a chorus to the song. It goes, depravity, lustful blasphemy, their gathering brought you to me. At the altar they recently found you, running loose this hellish condition. The angels soon will be dead, all believers have to walk in hell. So, you know, talking about blasphemy, talking about all the angels soon being dead, you know, finding you at an altar, you know, all believers have to walk in hell. You know, this is, you know, pretty much your cliched, stereotypical, oh my god, this is all heavy metal and it's so evil sort of thing. This is what your Bible thumpers think all heavy metal is. Call my name, I will hear, and the Christians will cease to exist. I curse thee, whom I see, darkening will soon be here. Wait, sacrifice my life with this unholy knife. We are looking down to a god. Fuck Jesus Christ. Oh, I swear these lyrics aren't the reason why I love the song. Honest. But yeah, like, again, we're going in with sacrifice my life, you know, evil, unholy knife. You're looking down to a god. Fuck Jesus Christ. You know, it's pretty straightforward. You know, there's no really deep meaning behind the song. Slaves of mankind, believe your lies. Useless beggars, believers, I hope you die. Dying for God, I'm not with him. Crime is in our hearts. You will not reveal. So again, slaves of mankind, believe your lies. You know, this is like all the Christian people, as it were, you know, they're slaves to this fictitious magical skyman who they for some reason believe is the guide to morality, you know, so they believe his lies. You know, it's like, if you do nice things you'll join me up here in heaven. Really you will. They're going to be so pissed off when they die and realise there is no such thing. You know, useless beggars, believers, you know, dying for God, I'm not with him. You know, you die for your God. You know, wars are created in the name of God. You know, you'll do anything for this magical skyman. You know, I'm not with him. I'm not following him. I'm not falling for that bollocks, you know. Then it goes, sacrifice a virgin's body life. Would you be a servant for Satan or mankind? Sacrifice a virgin's body life. Again I speak. Fuck Jesus Christ. You know, so like I say, this is what you would call the cliched, stereotypical death metal vocals, you know, that anybody who doesn't know anything about metal thinks all metal is. And, you know, we've covered it enough times on this channel to know that that is quite simply not true. In fact, lyrics like this are pretty much in the minority, you know. When I was writing lyrics for the band I used to be in, Thy Demise, I specifically stayed away from writing lyrics like this. You know, I was writing songs with meaning. You know, I was writing songs about like corrupt political officials. I wrote songs about when I was with Repulsive Vision. I wrote a song about the gas chambers in Auschwitz. You know, I try to write songs with meaning, and you know, a lot of the songs I've covered on this channel do have deep meanings. You know, whether they're talking about stories from H.P. Lovecraft, you know, there's still a meaning and a story behind it, or whether they're talking about homelessness, or you know, homeless veterans, or whether they're talking about mental health issues, or you know, domestic abuse. You know, a lot of the songs we've covered have had deep meanings behind it. This is the minority that doesn't. You know, I have covered a few with lyrics like this, but you know, this is what people think all metal music is about. I remember I had a friend at school. I say a friend, someone I knew at school, who was always saying that heavy metal is always just some guy swearing and shouting and talking about Satan and murder. And I was like, you know, you've got no bloody... He wouldn't hear otherwise, you know, he he wouldn't even listen to me explain to him how wrong he was, because he was so determined that that was accurate. You know, he wouldn't be told otherwise. You know, so you get people like that, and it pisses me off. But, you know, I loved this song from the moment I heard it. Like I say, I think this was from 1993. Fantastic piece of music. Absolutely love it. My first step into death metal, and what a step that was. So, yeah. Can't really say much more on that, so I'll leave that as it is. If you enjoyed this video, maybe consider giving it a like, maybe and subscribe if you're not already. And yeah, look out for the rest of the week, where I'm going to be covering more of the videos from the early 90s that sort of got me into and formed my taste of heavy metal. But for the time being, I'm going to leave that as it is. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. The